Hi Cancer, and welcome to your monthly forecast. Really great to see you guys again. A reminder that you can always use these videos for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. So this month I'd like to start off as always with the channeled information, and I arrive at that as I select a deck of cards for your sign and then meditate and try to tune into the energy. And it was a very peaceful energy that I got, but there was also a message and a word that came with it. And your channeled information this month is not to be afraid of surrendering. It's an interesting word though. I mean, a lot of times we associate surrender, unfortunately, with like a crime. When you think of it instead though, when it comes to metaphysics and when it comes to spirituality, surrender is really about detachment, about letting go, about trust as well. So in your meditation practice, I don't know how many of you do a daily meditation practice, but it doesn't even matter if you just do it occasionally. I'm sure you've reached that point where you stop worrying about what you're thinking about, you stop worrying about your body, you just connect to your higher self or to the higher power that you associate with. And it's in that moment that you feel this euphoric rush, or you start to feel lightheaded, or you feel like your body and your energy separate. And it's in that surrender that the information comes. Bliss, a download, a sense of understanding. But the hardest part is letting go, and I think that's what we're focusing on this month for Cancer. So the other thing with surrender, when it comes to manifestation, is I always use these analogies sometimes of taking a seed pod. Maybe it's like a dandelion seed pod, or you can pick whatever flower you want. I had a Gerbera daisy that was just finally spent, and each flower was attached to like a little seed. And it's beautiful when you see these things scatter in the wind. You want to think of your dreams, your projects, even the love that you're sending out into the universe to be kind of like these seeds. They're like cosmic seeds. And once you've put all the energy that you can into creating them, all that's left to do is to let it go and to hope for the best. And so this month, if you can release the need to have to know when something's going to happen, how something's going to happen, or even if, you're going to be able to allow for the flow of prosperity and opportunity to come into your life. So for you, surrender is just about easing up a little bit, trusting in your work that you've done, trusting in your own intuition, and giving the time and energy that you would normally put into micromanaging manifestation or micromanaging even your spiritual ascension and connection to God. Like, this stuff has to come easily. So I want you to just relax a little bit and surrender once you feel safe. Okay? And that's it for now for the channeled information, but I always like to connect it to the reading as I get deeper into the reading. So let's go ahead and give the cards a good shuffle, and I'll describe my method for those of you that are brand new. So I like to do a combination of things in each reading. I start with channeled information, which allows me to really connect to the energy without any sort of distractions. And then I pull a Celtic cross, which shows what's the most important message for you or messages for you over the course of the month. I pull a catalyst card on top of that to really see what will start everything up, how everything's connected. And then I expand the forecast to include health, wealth, love, and destiny. So let's finish up pulling the spread here, and then I'm going to look at the catalyst card. I often view this as one of the most significant cards I can pull. This, and often the destiny card that I'm going to pull at the end, they're both very, very important. This shows you how everything starts off. The other one shows you the direction in which you're headed, or really how everything's going to finish. So they're basically the bookends of my reading. All right, so we have a moon card here in reverse, very close to the moon card in tarot, and also closely associated with your sign, because we have the crab here. Now, what's interesting about the moon card in tarot and also in this illustration is it's about going deep in your emotions and facing fears, facing hopes too. Sometimes we're afraid of success, sometimes we're afraid of love or being loved, and sometimes we're just afraid to talk about something. So I want you to look into your areas of discomfort, or where you're not as much at ease with yourself. And this month, with the reversal of this card, it's basically about giving that away, If you notice, the moon is reversed here as well, like the location, and the gravity's pulling in the wrong direction. The moon should be above, not below. And so what it's doing for you is it's anchoring you down. So any of those emotions that should be like your creativity, there's good aspects of the moon. Creativity, intuition, a connection with your divine feminine side, all of these things are reversed this month. And so what you want to do is allow them to go back up. That's the surrender, that's the release, so that you can really embrace the positive aspects of the moon. The moon is also about illusion, and it's when you think about how the moon works, it doesn't have light of its own, it reflects the light of the sun. Everything that we see within the moonlight is actually reflections. And so this is a month during your meditation to kind of see what is coming through in those reflections. Are they reflections of hopes, of fears, of desires? And whatever they are, if you face them, if you acknowledge them, if you work on them, then they evaporate. And you can then embrace the reality of it. Because after every moon is the sun, and the sun comes back every day with bright light, and it shows the truth of the matter. But the moon is a very good friend of ours because it's showing us the illusion of the matter. So this month is going to be when a lot of illusions are presented to you, and you have a choice to either face them head on or allow them sometimes to have more strength. If you face them, they dissipate. If you sweep them under the rug, that card can often lead to things like the Devil card, which is giving power to shadow or illusion. All right, so let's look at the spread itself and see if there's additional insight. Your center card is a great card to start both the first week of the month and also the month off. We have the Empress putting you in a place of power and control, which I really like. And it's also a chance where many of you can reap the rewards and the benefits of all the hard work that you've been doing over the course of the past few months. On top of this, we have Ten of Cups. It's a very good time for you to reach out to friends, to family, to any sort of networks that you might have built, and they're going to be looking at you in a place of basically you're not only in a place of control, but also someone that they might be looking up to. So I feel like you've done a lot of positive work with relationships. Don't let that go. As we look in deep past, we have the Sun card here, and the Sun card is about your own charisma, your own energy to bring in positive relationships. So I'm sensing that the past couple of months have either been a cleaning up of relationships for you, maybe letting go of old relationships and establishing new ones, or creating space for them to exist. This is a very masculine card to come through, which is good because we have a lot of lunar cards and we have a lot of feminine cards. So what I see is masculine energy starting off the month, and what that really means in lay terms is you're going to have an ability to manifest, to get things off your checked off your list. So I would really focus on the first 7 days of the month. Anything that you've been wanting to finish, prioritize it, finish it, and anything that you've needed to bring up, we talked about that moon card, bring it up and really let it go in that first week. As I'm looking at what's affecting the overall energy of the month, we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. You're going to be busy throughout this entire month. Prioritization is really important, but the reversal of this card is speaking to your own sometimes discomfort with maybe being put in a place of authority, because we have that Empress card. So you may have never been called upon to do all of these things that you've been asked now. Maybe your boss is giving you more projects than usual. Maybe you've been somehow put in a place where you have to take on more roles or more difficult responsibilities than you have in the past. That card is basically saying you have the ability and the energy to do it. You can also delegate. With this, you're in a place of power, and it's also what you want to focus on. You'll notice she's an archer, and if you have 10 different things on your plate, pick the one that you care the most about, focus on that, delegate the other things, and realize there'll be time for everything else another time of the month or another month. You don't have to do everything, and that's basically what that card's showing. But you have a lot of capability for being seen and for pushing things along, which I like this month. We have the High Priestess as your crowning card, which is beautiful, fantastic, perfect for you because it's showing me heightened intuition and heightened creativity. I said that those were latent elements of the moon reversed. The fact that this is your crowning card is telling me that you're going to have the ability to see past the illusions that we talked about with that Catalyst card, and you're also going to be able to to channel the information and energy into something beautiful if you'd like. So any sort of artistic expression, dance, and anything where you're basically taking your emotions and transmuting them or putting them into something else is great. Be careful with the High Priestess, not to, if you're in a tricky situation at work or in a relationship, the best word I can use is manage up. Because sometimes we think we can take care of something tricky when in fact we do need assistance. And sometimes we underestimate people's comfort level with us sort of stepping in and doing things. So always check yourself, check where you're at, and think, is this appropriate? Am I taking on too much? Am I not allowing someone else to do something else? And if your boss or someone that's higher than you isn't quite doing their job, be careful of stepping in and doing it for them. That card is telling you it's tricky territory and they may end up getting upset later. Better to let them do their stuff, you do yours. If you want to voice your opinion, fine, but ultimately, especially for authority figures, it's their decision for better or for worse. So all you have to do is protect yourself and make sure that you've said what you need to say. We have Six of Pentacles moving into the middle of the month and also showing where you're headed over the next few months. I like Six of Pentacles because even in its reverse state, it's showing that you have more than enough. The tricky thing with Six of Pentacles is where do you say no? And what do you want to spend your time, energy, and resources on? So these are decisions you have to make. There's no hard and fast line for me to tell you what to do. But what I can say with it in reversed is you have to make some decisions. You can't do everything. And you can't make everyone happy. I had a drama teacher who told me that once, and it was good advice. And when you do that, basically, you're setting yourself up for a situation where you're not going to necessarily be successful. People may sense that you're overextending yourself and therefore not respect you. And also, you're not being seen as someone who's decisive. So all of these things work contrary to the beautiful energy that you've set up. So say no if you have to. It's a small word, but it's one that we don't use enough. This is a great month for redefining or putting energy into your love relationships, into business relationships that require trust and people getting to know you. And with that in mind, whatever your type of relationship is, the more energy you spend in empathy, understanding, listening, particularly the listening, is what's going to pay off. The person will want to just shower you then with love once they know that you have the ability to be unconditional in the way you love them. As we look at your environment, we have Six of Wands here. Six of Wands is a card of success. The reversal of this card, though, shows that you may be either doubting your own success or might be focused more on what other people are thinking of it. Know that you are more in control of your own destiny than you realize, and that you don't need the approval, all of the accolades from someone else. All that's important is when you go home at night, do you feel good about what you did? When you get up in the morning, are you looking forward to the day ahead? And if not, that's your sort of scales, if you will, about like where are you at? How happy are you? Money situation is challenging. I'm sensing that. There's some decisions to be made. It looks like this month you might have money going in the opposite direction that you want. So either some unexpected costs, or maybe you didn't get as much money as you wanted if you were trying to sell something or negotiate a contract or a raise, or you just want more, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having that realization. But this card is more about understanding what your next move is. Don't worry so much on what happened. Focus now on what am I putting out there? Why did this not, why didn't it go through? What can I do next time to make it better? Don't focus so much on feeling either that someone doesn't value you or that it wasn't enough. It might have more to do with timing. Your final card is Queen of Wands, and this is speaking to your ability to manage. We talked about managing resources. This is also managing people and pushing back if you need to for people that are trying to either encroach on your time or aren't appreciative of what you're doing. So be strong, speak up, and don't be afraid. I'm getting voice of reason. You might be the one that has to interject. Like I said, if it's a boss, be careful, but if it's a love relationship or a friend relationship, what you can do is just check someone on their assumptions and say, you've always been there for me when I've needed a little nudge. I'm going to be there for you and you can do what you want, but I feel like I have to mention this. And you bring it up and you let it go. because the Queen of Wands has enough on her plate and she doesn't have to worry about other things. So mention it, move on, and then manage your own life, and that's really what's important with that card. All right, let's expand the forecast, and then I will revisit this at the end. And we're going to start now with your health card. And I always see health as three parts. It's your mind, your body, and your spirit. Of course, this will probably be weighing more into one of those areas, but I do want to mention that because you don't really exist in a vacuum with your health. So we have Diana. The card is upright. It's about focused intention. It says, think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. And also we noticed that, again, that lunar theme coming through here about hopes, going really towards the hope portion rather than the fear. So I want you in your meditation and in your visualization work, if you don't do that, you should think about doing that, to see and feel the success of the future. And with your health, this is speaking to how can you improve where you're at. So maybe like last year I had an ankle injury that I had to overcome. This year I'm still recovering today. I'm trying not to bring it up, but I'm still having some pressure in my nose. It feels so much better, and thank you guys for your support. But you have to prioritize health, and each year I try to take care of something, and I try to live by my own words. So focus on what you want to improve in your life. So whether it's physical activity, your mental acuity, your meditation, or some sort of healing that needs to take place. That should be your one focus this month, and I want you to put your energy when it comes to health in that area. See if you can't get a little bit further along, and focus inward first. So this is less about helping all of those around you. Without your own health and without your own well-being, it's difficult to help others. It's also difficult to enjoy all of the wealth that may be coming through, which is what we're going to be checking on next. So let's now take a look at your wealth card. Wealth is not just about money, but it's about, are you happy? Are you enjoying your life? And how can you create more abundance within your life? Your wealth card this month is about new things coming through. And we have this beautiful birthing card upright. And to me, it almost looks like a phoenix rising. This is a chakra deck, and this is attached to your lower chakras. In particular, it looks like relationship chakras. So with wealth, it is about who you know, and it's about using that network of people to help birth a new project for some of you. It's also about feeling that you are in control, that you are able to do whatever you want to do. I see new things coming through with money. So even if you felt like there's been a couple of setbacks, focus on what you can do to create new opportunities. It's about what's next, not about what's now. Now let's look at love. And this love card, much like the rest, it has multiple areas that it touches. It touches your personal relationships, your love relationships, and also just your sense of how you feel about yourself. And we have forgiveness, which was something that I talked about in the last weekly reading. So it says, nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. So with your love and with your relationships, know that the biggest freedom you can give to yourself, if you didn't listen to my weekly, is the power of release, the power of, that's what the surrender is here too, I think. Surrendering to, it's okay. Whatever needed to happen, happened, and knowing that you did the best you could. And once you've let go, then you allow for better emotions to come through, and also better relationships to come through. Let's look now at your destiny card to see where you're headed, to see if you like that trajectory, and if not, you can adjust this. I mentioned earlier that I like both the catalyst card and this destiny card because it really nicely bookends where you're at in your journey. And we have this miraculous card. It's a magic card when I see the unicorn. The unicorn was reversed, so what I'm seeing with this again is if we take the Eight of Wands card and look at that bow and arrow, to me the unicorn is much like that. I want you to have razor focus on what you're looking for, and believe that magic can happen, that miraculous things can happen. Believe in a miracle. Otherwise, why are we here on this planet if we can't change our lives, if we can't change our destiny? It makes up for a pretty grim future. So I believe in the power of the unexpected, and I believe that we can push the needle in the right direction. Unicorn here is saying don't give up. And notice again, we've got all of these moons in this multiple decks that I'm working with. So I want you to pay attention to the phases of the moon. And you can get an app on your phone or watch, or you can check it on Google or the Farmer's Almanac. And as you're looking at it, take a look at the different phases. And new moons, you want to begin new things. Full moons, you want to finish things up or release things and just be gentle with your body. And as you are in between the phases, there are different meditations you can do as well. And again, depending on how I feel, maybe I'll do some more lunar meditations over the course of September and October. But I want you to pay attention to it because not only is it important for your sign, but it seems to be coming up quite frequently in this reading. So let's go ahead and review all of the information that came through today. I will begin with your channeled information, which was surrender. It's surrender not only in emotions, but in activity, in dreams, letting go. Once you know what you want, trusting that you're going to find the way there. Trusting in synchronicities and serendipitous events and tuning into that. That's where your intuition will be your compass, will help you find your North Star. Excuse me. Your catalyst card this month was the moon. The moon is reversed. We mentioned turning this upright, making sure that you're embracing the positive elements of the moon. Creativity, intuition, and basically seeing through illusions. And the way to do that is to face your fears head on, not being afraid of the unknown, not being afraid of desires, knowing what they are, and then being able to work with them. As we look at your health card, focused intention, and this is not just about physical health, it's about your creative health, your mental health, thinking about what it is you want to accomplish and focusing on that. And it might be like me, taking care of something that needs to be fixed in your life. We're still in a retrograde at the beginning of the month. Whatever it is, focus on that and allow that progress to be made there. When we look at wealth, we have birthing. So it's less about where you're at or what you've done. It's more about where you're headed and what opportunities are in front of you at the moment. I see this is a great month for launching a business, starting something over, getting people interested in what you have to sell. Things can take flight this month. So we looked at wealth. Now let's look at love. Don't hold on to the past. Let go. Embrace new opportunities. And really, the act of forgiveness is almost like pulling out a poison in your body. It's hard to do initially, but once you do it, you feel free, you feel lighter, and you feel like anything is possible. The last thing was to believe in miracles. Believe that you can do something that is beyond reason. This world is much bigger and much more magical than we sometimes give it credit for. We can get mired down in things like gossip, politics, competition, and even just our own emotions. And this card is reminding you to connect with that more magical part, the primal part that we can't explain. And when you do that, and when you believe that anything is possible, that's when things happen. When you look at very successful people, they have a little bit of, they don't worry so much about what people think. They just know that it's going to work. So I want you to find that sense of inner knowledge that transcends reason, and that's what we're really getting at with Unicorn. All right, so that is this month in a nutshell. If you ever need a one-on-one appointment with me to discuss things in greater depth, I do have readings on my site. You can check for rates and availability. I'll post a link in the corner and also in the description area below. The best way to keep in touch with me, of course, is to subscribe to this channel, and I know a lot of you have already done that, so if you have, thank you. If not, think about clicking subscribe, and also there's a bell icon that will send you an email when I post new videos. If you prefer to stay outside of YouTube, I have a newsletter, and I send out one a week, mostly just notifications for the weekly ones, and then one a month where I actually write a little bit about what's coming through for the month ahead. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you'd like to join me there. I have a new way to support the channel if you'd like to. I'm on Patreon, and I'm also on, I also have different donation methods on my website, so if you found that this was useful and you'd like to give back, I would be very grateful, but it's not, it's optional. It's not something you have to do. Finally, and most importantly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for working on yourself. Thank you for every month trying to make this world a better place by becoming a little bit more in touch with who you are and what you can do in this world. I believe that the more empowered we are and the more enlightened we are, the easier it's going to be for all of us to live together. So keep working on yourselves. That's the best thing that can come out of all of this. I wish you much love, success, and abundance, and I do believe that you will get that abundance. So don't worry if there's some setbacks or things aren't happening as fast as you want. remember your channeled information was to surrender. Let the flow of prosperity and the flow of manifestation to just come in this month, okay? Take care of yourselves. I'll see you all really soon. Bye-bye.